Good evening, everybody again. Pardon my voice. I feel I sound fabulous. So welcome to the March 21st, 2023 PTSA General Membership Meeting. It is on Zoom. Primarily it was on Zoom because there's a few big games starting today, right, Mr. Wusu?
Yes, JV boys lost lacrosse. Varsity volleyball is going into a fifth set.
Oh, wow.
Against Churchill. So it's a big game, the first game.
Oh. Wow, that means that's a great game to watch. My son's missing it. He's like, should I go there? He didn't make it, so he's like, I don't know if I should go.
Yeah, gotcha. Apparently it's a good game.
Yes, and that's probably why there's quite a few people not on here.
And girls won as well. Girls softball won.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me just make my other PTA leaders here co-host. Welcome, Toby and Trinine. I think we pretty much have quorum-ish, right? We have quorum. We have 7. So we can go over the meeting minutes or approve it. Yay! So again, thank you all for joining. This is, please pardon my voice again, the March 21st, 2023 meeting. As always, we start with the PTSA mission statement to make every child's potential a reality by engaging and empowering families and communities to advocate for all children. And this call is recorded again for this meeting. The agenda for today, and welcome Angela, and the agenda for today is we're going to go over the meeting minutes, openings within the PTSA, although we're kind of late in the game, but that's fine. Report of the officers, principals connect, committee reports, delegate reports, cluster coordinator reports, old business, new business, etc. Nobody has any further objections for this agenda. We will continue forward and we will accept the agenda. Any motions if anybody disagrees with the agenda, please speak now. If not, we're going to move forward. I don't hear any objections. So at 7:14, Trinine, please note that the agenda is accepted. Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, so reading and approval of meeting minutes. These has been the past meeting minutes from the PTSA. So see, I've already sent this over, so hopefully you're able to read it. From August 11th, September 20th, September 9th, November 15th, January 10th, March 8th. We're working on getting these uploaded, so you'll see more in the next meeting. Hopefully you'll have been able to read it. And again, if there is no objections to these meeting minutes, we will have then considered them approved. Does anyone have any objections or questions or anything of that nature? If not, we're gonna breeze on forward. So Janine, please note at 7:14 again, that the meeting minutes from these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 meetings from either board of directors or general memberships have been approved. No particular concerns from the attendees of this meeting, and we are at quorum already. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the quorum. And thank you all for attending. And we're going to move on forward. So there are still some positions opened. I know it's like almost April, but March, April, May. What I really would like to, so there's a few programs we're working on, and we hope we can have some of you join in as volunteers or whatnot to liven it up and to also support the process, which would be really, really great to support what we're doing, especially the part of advocacy with for our school community, as well as the greater community in Clarksburg. Again, I'm going to continue forward if there's no one here that for these particular positions, right? But there's other programs that we hope you guys could be supporting before the end of the school year. The next one is the President, VP of Education, Treasurer reports. Here is the reports from the President. So we're going to review this briefly, as brief as I can. First is that we, as part of our grant with, and as part of the overall after prom program. So the after prom program is kind of like a twofold program, because there is the after prom itself, but then we also need to have the substance use awareness prevention program within it, because teen traffic fatalities increases usually between the months of April until July, because those are prom and graduation, and the teen traffic fatalities that include substance uses has increased significantly during this time frame. So that's why we have to incorporate that particular piece, like a webinar assembly of sorts, into that particular program to educate and increase awareness of our student population, but as well as for the parents. So we're going to do it twofold. One is hopefully, if it works out, like a school assembly at CHS on April 14th, incorporating right now as it stands, MCPD may not, maybe they may not fit during that time frame, but MAD and the SOL organization. And then April 18th is a cluster event after the CHS PTSA meeting, and that would include MCPD, MAD, and SOL within a larger, longer context of a program. And this is going to be for, we're going to reach out to all of the schools in the Clarksburg cluster, elementaries and middle school, mainly focusing on the parents. But if the children are, especially middle schoolers, they're able to attend, that would be great. But this is a big awareness event program because we want parents to understand the importance of communicating with their kids, even at the younger ages, of course, age appropriate communications, because substance use has become, what's it called? The age of substance users have decreased significantly over time. And so the organization of Montgomery County Coalition Project, I believe, they have seen users of substances at younger and younger ages year after year. And I actually just read a crazy article about Quince Orchard student who was, I think he passed out in McDonald's in the Quince Orchard area, and the officers who came had to give him Narcan. And that was today. And I know Mr. Boosie sent an email about these other stuff proliferating around the schools. And I know that's part of the course with high schools, but it's just crazier because of the actual fentanyl being just madly used by these dealers who are lacing seemingly like not harmless, but not as, strong or as dangerous of a substance, like marijuana compared to like cocaine, for example, but they're lacing marijuana with fentanyl, and there's other stuff involved, and it's just madness all around. So this kind of a program is very important. I know that the Montgomery Turns Blue to Montgomery Turns Purple Montgomery Turns Purple organization has been heavily involved with this as well. There's some of it from the state's attorney as well being involved, just to increase the awareness, because we want to engage our kids to let them know that if they see something, say something, and they have to speak up, and parents have to speak up as well. So that's tying in with the advocacy piece. The other parts is we always meet from the cluster coordinator part, and I am one along with Teddy Wu and Arti Varanasi, and then the area vice president is Minnie Varghese. We meet with the area PTSA presidents, and then we also do monthly meetings with the respective schools to discuss any particular concerns that deals with the schools. So one thing that we're working on is incorporating a cluster festival, hopefully May 20th, 2023, partnering up with Clarksburg Yard, having this hopefully student-led. And then we're hopefully able to have some presence in the Clarksburg Kite Festival that's happening March 25th. I do have to reach out to them. The other one is we are engaging with Nourish Now organization to increase their presence in Clarksburg. So that has been in the works and increasing their presence in Clarksburg and supporting the Clarksburg community, especially the Clarksburg schools. So one thing that they say has been pretty much confirmed is they're starting out with the donations or whatnot in the Clarksburg prime outlets, and then sharing the results of that donations to a Clarksburg organization. So we've reached out to see if they're able to assist Fox Chapel and Daly Elementary, who are technically community schools and the Title I schools in our community, and who actually have food pantries. And those schools have shared that they have been struggling to replenish their food pantries on a continual basis. So I'll be reaching out to them sometime this week to confirm that. The other one is we actually met with Council Member Marilyn Balcom, Trinine, our wonderful secretary, Artsy Varnasi, the Wilson Wims PTA, and myself. We met with Council Member Marilyn Balcom about a week or so ago, and we shared with them how Clarksburg has one of the fastest growing growth rates in the areas, 4% compared to 1% Bethesda, 1% Damascus, 1% Poolsville, but we don't have any facilities in our community. And so we shared that. We also shared about Clarksburg High School and then our capacity concerns. We also shared about Wilson Wims, Snowden Farms, and the pedestrian safety concerns that are there. And then a great highlight about pedestrian safety is the success of Rocky Hill to actually have to advocate for a sidewalk to be installed right next to Frederick Road, I believe, right, Mr. Owusu? And that's going to start construction October 2023, knock on wood. So this is, yes.
Yeah, I'm listening to you because I haven't seen all of that yet about the construction. So
yeah, probably not yet, but hopefully more communication will come out soon. But Delegate Lili, she stated that it is happening, or it will start in October 2023. Hopefully they don't extend that like they did with Wilson Wims.
okay.
But again, this is a big part about being part of the PTA. It's about the advocacy again to advocate for our children to make sure they have equal opportunity and they're also well protected. So if you have any concerns, questions, please feel free to reach out. There's a few other stuff and I didn't add this here, so my apologies, but I will share that in the what's it called, in the news, in the PTSA notes and stuff that we send out periodically. Anyone have any questions for the president's notes here? Oh, one more thing. The other thing we're doing is mental health seminars or webinars. That's going to be, again, partnering up with the cluster schools. One of the cluster schools reached out to me about having a webinar or having an anxiety forum, especially focusing on girls and, you know, their entire growing up period and the anxieties they're feeling, especially after the pandemic. So we may start with that. And then also we may have a different topic about boys. I know the time frame is a bit short right now because it's almost the end of the year. So we may start with one and then continue the series next year or whatnot, or maybe throughout the summer, whichever one would work best for the community and with the parent volunteers. So if anyone here wants to get involved with any of these, either the cluster fair, the mental health series webinar, the pedestrian safety concerns and so forth, please do let us know, because other clusters, they're all like united. I saw one where they have the Walter Johnson cluster. They're emailing everybody, let's unite and show up in Board of Education meetings wearing the Walter Johnson green colors. So maybe we all could wear the Clarksburg blue colors and be like, we're part of the Clarksburg cluster and this is our concerns and you need to listen to us because we have a strong presence here. We have one of the highest growth rates in the county. We need facilities. We need these for our children. We need our high schools to increase their capacities, find a way to make the capacity concern a topmost importance for you all. Okay, I've stepped off my podium there. Any other questions here? Okay, now we are going to continue. So Sonali did a, I don't think she's here today, but she did a SAT mock test this past Saturday, the 18th. And that is to support Clarksburg High School SAT Day on March 22nd for the juniors. I have to reach back out to her, so then shared back as to what the results of that is, but she's been very, very helpful to getting tutor doctor to come and provide these mock testing and stuff so the students can get a feel of the SATs and understand whatever opportunities they have with various parts of that particular test. So if you have any questions about this, please let us know. We can do a Q&A session towards the end or whatnot. But I thought that was really nice. If you took part in it, let us know how it went too. If you have any other organizations that could support this part here, especially college admissions concerns, please don't hesitate to let us know either. If nothing else, we're going to move on forward. Any questions so far? Will I get a drink a little water? No? Okay. We're going to continue onwards. And this is a treasurer report. Thanks to Nadia, B, and Toby for assisting with this. This is the treasurer information as of yesterday. And as you can see here, there is some level of income since the last one in February. These transactions have cleared from our end when we did the report on February. It didn't clear just yet. So this has cleared, so the income is $621.05. And these are the reimbursement that needs to be written the check out for and it needs to be run out. Let me show you another, let me share another one there. That looks better. There it is. So these are the expenses that needs to be written out for 2 reimbursements for myself, 1 for Nadia B. Blamaville. And these are pertaining to the deposit for the after prom. Let me write that down here. Deposit for DJ for after prom. DJ Good Vibrations. This is for the sweet treats for staff. For staff. This is also for sweet treats for staff. They're itemized because we have not written the checks out. This is the deposit for the balloon artist for after prom. And this is the deposit for the photo booth for after prom. So the total potential expenses coming out is $930. I can't talk. Sorry, $938.53. So the balance on hand after the balance on hand after the expenses. After the expenses, this is $3,740.51. We just did a transfer from the, so this $1,385 is what we have received in after prom donations. These donations, 393 is the donations for after prom, but here. So this is what we've received so far for after prom, I believe, yes. And then, so after this donation from PayPal, the total amount, the transfer from PayPal, the total amount is $5,125.71. We have a restricted grant to use for after prom substance use prevention program, teen driver safety from the Montgomery County Coalition Project. That's about $2,000. So the total after we have to submit that reimbursements to them. And that would be $7,125.71, but this is restricted for after prom. Any questions about the treasurer's report? If no questions, we're just going to continue onward. And Mr. Owusu, you now have the floor. Did you want me to stop sharing?
Yes, and I can share my screen.
Okie dokie.
Let's see. Can you see that? Can you?
Yes.
Okay, great. So, welcome everybody. I wanted to talk today about our school improvement plan and just kind of an overview of what we are doing, continuing to do, and what we are going to be moving towards doing and or changing for the summer and into next year. So every school has to do a school improvement plan, and it varies by school because you're doing what your school needs, and how do you get those needs is by usually gathering data. And so we break up our data into kind of three levels, and you can kind of see that graphic on the right. Street data is basically the fine grain, that specific data. Then you have your map data, which is a little bit higher up, and then your satellite data. And so we've gathered data over time, and we make changes, but ultimately we have to focus on students and their well-being. And to do that, we also are looking at through an equity lens, which we've been having an equity thread for the last, I want to say 5 years. We've been focusing on that, and it really took off actually during the pandemic, when we were able to kind of address more in regards to implicit bias. But so we have kind of 5 areas that we are focusing on. As I said already, equity, student learning experiences. How do students experience their learning, leader learning, in regards to our instructional leadership team, our administrative team, and how they're learning to help the staff. Then we obviously have ongoing data collection, analysis, and then student well-being. So that in a nutshell, there's a lot going on there, obviously. I mean, how can you focus when you have so many things going on? So overall, we have a focus on basically instruction and planning, and planning for what's called planning for powerful instruction. Because that's why kids come to school, is to learn. So as I said, we focus on planning for powerful instruction and the components of what would make a mastery lesson in the classroom. And then along the way, again, we're focusing on well-being. We're tying in restorative practices and looking at trauma-informed teaching. Kids come to school with so many different needs and wants, and we're seeing it more than ever in regards to the needs of every student, and we're accessing more resources for our students. You'd be surprised to know how many kids come to school, and we they unfortunately, we're seeing have some suicidal ideation, just being depressed, angry, just a lot going on with our students. So we're focusing on, again, one of those threads is well-being and equity. So what we did, and we polled in January, right when we came back, I believe right when we came back from the pandemic, we polled our caregivers, our parents. This is some of that data. So we got 146 responses, and one of the questions was kind of the parents and their students' culture, identities, and ways of being are respected. Who we are and how we see ourselves as respected and appreciated at CHS. And so 64.4% agreed, while 24.7% strongly agreed. But then there's that percentage that disagreed in red and blue there. So it's not a large percentage when you see 64 plus 24 and the strongly agree, but there are families that feel this way. And so how do we process that? What do we do? So there's a couple of things that we kept on saying. We looked at how do families feel respected and cared about by CHS staff. And again, that was some strong data there in regards to agreeing. But again, you can see 8.9% disagreed. And then question 3, do you have opportunities to contribute your thoughts and ideas at CHS? And families feeling like they had the opportunity. Again, but this one, as you can see, the number is a little bit higher in regards to not feeling like they have the opportunity to contribute. And I see it. I know, Nadia, you were talking about opportunities to volunteer, opportunities to go into the school and do certain things, and not like in elementary school and to a certain extent in middle school, you're more involved, whereas in high school, we are advocating for students to advocate for themselves, but it's almost feeling like, okay, parents are not feeling involved, nor are we parents of being asked to be involved. And so that might be part of that feeling that's playing out here in this data point. And if anybody has any questions, please do stop me or speak up. Is that okay? Anybody there?
Yes, you are good to go, sir.
Okay.
I don't see any hands up.
Okay. I'm going to go a little bit faster because I do have a lot. So, and then one of the other questions, being a safe environment. So as you can see, again, you can see the numbers there, and then 16.4% students can't learn if they don't feel safe. And parents are getting information from students saying, hey, I don't feel safe. And so that's, again, the number is a little bit higher there in regards to disagreeing. And then we went to students. Again, that same question about their identity and culture. Are they feeling respected? Again, higher numbers here in regards to agreeing. And then feeling respected by classmates. Again, higher numbers in regards to disagreeing, as you can see, 11.5% there about their classmates. And then feeling respected and cared about by staff members. That's another, hold on a minute. Again, high numbers in regards to agreeing that, feeling that the staff do care. Oops, sorry. And then feeling about their students' ways of learning. Everybody learns differently, and teachers care and think about how I learn when they prepare lessons. And we're all over the place in regards to green, saying most of my teachers do, purple, all of my teachers do, orange, some of my teachers do, and then 11%, a few of my teachers do, and a small percentage of none of my teachers. So I think that has to be expected. Again, we're pulling this data and we're sharing this with the staff as well, because some students are auditory learners, some students are visual learners, some students are tactile, they need to do different things, they need to draw, they need to do some of those things. And you can see it play out in students that are doing, may do musical instruments or art, computer science or technology education, versus those students who are excelling in the literature and mathematics, where you're actually going to see something presented and then you have to kind of practice it and do it a certain way. So it plays out as we think it should. But again, we as teachers and instructors, we need to make sure that we are adapting how we are instructing so that students can actually learn. 5, having opportunities in various ways at CHS. I have opportunities to actively investigate and cover. And by the way, I'm sorry, 549 responses from our student survey. So again, we have over 2,000 students, and having 549 is actually not bad, but it could be obviously better. And again, it's all over the place in this regards, in having opportunities to learn in various ways, as you can see, kind of like the former slide presented as well. Opportunities to contribute my thoughts and ideas. Many strongly agreed. We do have vocal students, and again, 15.7% disagreed. And then having a safe learning environment. Again, it's in the agree is 70%, whereas the strongly agree is 21%. So again, there's agreement there, but versus strongly agree and agree, there's a difference. And so that's important to me when about feeling safe, you know, whether you strongly agree or like, yeah, I agree, kind of, sort of. So that's something that we again do look at. And then we try as our best to get down to that street level, because this is kind of that, you know, that satellite up high kind of, and then actually now it's talking to kids individually is getting that street data. Okay, is it the bathrooms? Is it the hallways? Is it inside the classrooms? Where don't you feel safe specifically? So when we are again talking to students, we have a instructional cycle that we go through. We want to make sure that when we talk about reteaching, reassessing, and giving feedback, we're kind of going through that cycle. So you can see that graphic on the left that we've been using for years through our planning for powerful instruction that the county rolled out, I want to say almost 9-10 years ago. So for our school improvement plan, we are focusing on the components of a mastery lesson, as I said at the beginning, and we're focusing on framing the learning, delivery, and assessment. Again, another circle there. So communicating an objective, reviewing the agenda, and completing the warm-up and activator. So every student should be able to know what they're going to learn for the day at the beginning of the day. So that's kind of framing that mastery objective and making sure that it is at mastery level, that you're not just putting up a task to do, that you're actually framing the learning for that student, and it's a full cycle. Then you're implementing and you're delivering that equitable instruction, and then we're making sure that we're having student discourse. We want the students to talk rather than be talked to. So we want to make sure there's student-to-student discourse that is going on, because in many instances, students learn best from other students. And then assessment and closure, how we check for understanding throughout the lesson and provide a summarizer. So that way, we are teaching from bell to bell. That's the goal and the plan. It's not always successful, I want to admit, but especially 8th period at the end of the day, when kids start packing up with 10 minutes to go and you're still talking and they don't stop. So we want to make sure that we have some kind of assessment and closure in every lesson. I'm going to go through this data a little bit faster. Again, talking about ways that students are feeling respected. Teachers care about what I think, as you can see, the data there. Most of my teachers do. All of my teachers do in purple. Some of my teachers in orange, and in that red, a few of my teachers. And again, I have opportunities to learn in various ways at CHS. Ongoing data and collection. Again, I already talked about this, the satellite map and street data. And then also I'll mention our leader learning. Again, this is all part of our SIP. And so our instructional leadership foci is basically learning about and executing levels of data, street data, to inform decision making. So in every quarter, we're looking at informal observations. We're going into every single classroom and giving feedback informally, written feedback. And then the other half of the quarter, we are doing what's called data chats, where teachers are owning their data. And so to do that, they have to know how to interpret that data. So if 9 out of 10, just making up a number, 9 out of my 10 students get a certain topic, and that one student doesn't, I have to not only, yes, I have to reteach and reassess, but I need to find out why that one student's not getting it, because the next time it could be one of my students gets it and the other 9 don't. And it could be that one student that didn't get that first lesson that first time. So I need to make sure I know from one class to the next. And then sharing, as when we talk about planning for powerful instruction, if 2 teachers are teaching the same subject, they should be providing feedback and sharing with each other. It should be just kind of regurgitating the same lessons over and over again. They should be adapting the lesson. And so as leaders, we need to learn about executing various types of classroom visits And so it doesn't feel like we walk into the classroom and the teacher doesn't feel like, oh, they're out to get me. It's more of, oh, this is going to be good because I can get some feedback on my teaching instruction and then share it with my PLC partner, professional learning community. And then coaching, and having different ways to provide feedback and coach someone so that way they, again, take that feedback and can implement it properly. Moving on to another data piece again, the MSD report card came out. Overall for Clarksburg, we had 4 out of 5 stars, which is what we've had prior to the pandemic. Our graduation, oh my goodness, graduation rate increased. I believe we were at 96%. When I first started at Clarksburg, we were at 93, and we've been going up every year. And then our readiness for post-secondary success has also increased. So when you're looking at it, this is what you see on the Maryland report card. And I'm going to share these slides with you, so I'll put it in the chat in a moment. But we're at 66.9% for 2022. And when you click this image, this is Clarksburg's image. So if you go to MSDE and you look at this, the Maryland report card, and you type in Clarksburg High School, you'll come up with this, and everything's kind of explained out. We hit our annual target and improved again in our graduation rate. We have work to do in regard to, when it says academic achievement, that is the state testing. And so want to click this open. So when you click this image, it kind of goes through and lists for elementary, middle school, and high school kind of what each data set means. And so it goes into, again, readiness for post-secondary success, school qualities. And so it gives you the percentage of how the scores are broken down for that 66% for Clarksburg. And it goes into explaining every single data piece that you're going to see. And so I want to, and then it goes into the stars. So as I said, we're 66.4. So we're in the 4-star range. To get a 5-star, you have to be in the 75 to 100 percentile. Oh yeah, and here's the piece for the academic achievement. That's for elementary school and middle school, and then for high school. So being proficient in mathematics, again, but this is by the state tests for English, and then it just breaks it down into the different levels. And so you can see all the data and the notes here that kind of goes through what it all means. So I wanted to make sure that you had this information because it is part of our SIP in regards to another data point. It is lagging data, obviously. You know, it's still important to see, but it goes into lots of data, and the survey that was just done recently, the Maryland survey, and all the results and interpretation guides. So with that said, that's it in regards to our SIP. A SIP is supposed to be a year-to-year kind of living document. We've been doing ensuring, I'm going to stop my share. For Clarksburg, we've been having all staff members do observations of other staff members, and that's been going on for the last 4 weeks now, and giving feedback. So again, teachers go into different classrooms and observe other teachers. The leadership team did it, and now teachers are doing it, and then providing feedback about what they're seeing. And it's an opportunity again for teachers to judge other teachers and not feel like they are themselves kind of being evaluated. It's just kind of getting feedback on what they're doing based off of what they've been learning in regards to planning for powerful instruction. So if I'm a math teacher and I plan with another algebra teacher, I might go and observe their classroom and see that, okay, the lesson that I just delivered or I'm going to deliver in a few hours, I see my fellow teacher just delivered, and I can kind of, even though we plan together, we don't necessarily see themselves instruct until they're actually getting into the classroom. And so we've been doing that for the last 4 weeks, and we'll finish up right at spring break and then come back and tie it all together in a bow in regards to how our planning affects our instruction, which affects our students' outcomes. And that's it.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Owusu. Let me bring up my screen here. Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Owusu?
Not a question, but just that was really helpful and really great information, especially for the PTSA folks. What sticks out is, the survey around giving parents more opportunities to volunteer. The opportunities are there, but maybe we can help to get the word out so we can match up the opportunities with the parents.
Yes. And Heather Kelly says, thank you, Mr. Owusu. So thank you.
You're very welcome. I put the link inside the chat. So if in case you want to look at it, it is there. Yeah, if you have questions, just let me know. Thank you. Give me the time.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. Love your sessions. I'm a data nerd, so I love the data. I remember you said, the Maryland report card is boring. And I was like, oh, you don't know who you're talking to. Those numbers I have embraced. They're not boring to me at all. I crunch numbers at work too all the time. I'm sure a lot of moms here as well, or a lot of parents and caregivers here sometimes, some way, shape, or form, they also do the same.
Yeah, and then we have work to do for Maryland report card. And that's the thing about it. It's AP exams, kids take seriously. MAP testing, to a certain extent, kids take seriously. Maryland report cards, kids don't take that seriously because it doesn't affect them. They don't even see the data until almost a year later. So it's kind of hard, especially in high school. So anyway.
Yes, no, I feel, yeah. I had to tell my son, I mean, he's doing well, but I was like, you're near that. You're near the end of this quarter. Let's work on, reaching out and making sure you, connect and like study and study well and so forth. Yeah, high schoolers are super fun. Welcome, Lana. Thank you for joining. What happened to my thing here? Oh, there you are. Did my internet go wobbly there a bit? No? Okay, sometimes it does. If it does, please let me know. So this is, I usually have a PowerPoint presentation, but I'm just going to share this because this is from the recent cluster coordinator meeting at Wilson Williams High School. We meet with the area director, which is Christoph Turk. We meet with the school, I was going to say president, school principal, Mr. Kevin Burns. Audra Dove was there. She is MCC PTA educational, what's it called? VP of Education for MCC PTA. And then we had guest speakers from the Student Engagement, Behavioral Health and Academics team, Shauna K. Jaranbi, and she's actually leading the restorative justice, restorative practices for MCPS. So one thing I want to bring up here, and this again tying into parent volunteers, parent engagement, and parent advocacy, any one PTSA member can be a cluster coordinator. If you have a passion for advocacy work or you have a concern that you want to take part in, you are more than welcome to let us know. We can submit your name to what's it called, to MCC PTA for cluster coordinator. There is a vote. The vote is by the, I believe, the cluster presidents or whatnot. And then, but there are several advocacy work, like VP of Education. I don't think she's a PTSA leader. She was, but she's a PTSA member, but she was voted in to become the MCC PTA Vice President of Education. And so they are very vocal and very active, and this is what they do. And honestly, when I became cluster coordinator, I didn't know what the work was, but there's a lot of meetings. But at the same time, it opens up our eyes and our minds to see what is actually needed by our students and for the school community. And there's a lot of it that needs to be done. So one piece that was shared was a big part of the engagement was around restorative justice. So from the meeting with Shauna K. Drambi, I have my notes, but this is from Minnie Varghese, and Minnie is our area VP. There are 9 restorative justice specialists for the county. Each middle and high school got a stipend to train a coach on RJ, or restorative justice. And there is a dedicated restorative justice lead in Hallie Wells. She's the specialist for Clarksburg. Her name is Carrie Vieira. She is at Hallie Wells about twice a week. And what Shauna K. Drambi shared with us, the majority of restorative justice requests are for staff conflicts rather than students. I actually want her to share this because she'll probably be able to explain it well to us. So I want her to come in to present to the PTSA. I have to reach out and share the time frames and stuff. Again, I don't know if it's going to be possible because we are nearing the end of the school year. But this is something that I would love to hear her more, because when she explained it, it made the restorative justice practices and so forth, made it more clear than what is in like the media, what we hear, because what we read in the media, what we hear could well not be everything that pertains to the restorative justice process. And I know I also brought this up with Mr. Awusu, and he says, yes, there's so much more to restorative justice than, like, for example, any punitive damages or any like disciplinary actions. Those are like the end part to it. Restorative justice, it's the entire process related to supporting kids, their emotional needs, their understanding of conflict, and it is a pathway that we all have to follow. And one thing that she wanted to share is that whenever conflict does happen in a school, people tend to regard every instance of conflict as some level of bullying, when that may not be the case. It could just be some level of conflict between like a misunderstanding between one student to the other. And so therefore it may not be categorized as a bullying incident with retrospect to what happened between those two individuals. So again, this is something that was wonderfully explained by Ms. Drambi, so hopefully she can share with that. She does tend to do presentations about restorative justice, restorative practices to parents. Hopefully she's able to share it with us to the Clarksburg cluster, as well. There is a Maryland climate survey that's done from 2th, 5th, 7th, and 9th graders, and we discussed briefly about that. They do it. The county will get the results from Maryland, so we're working on getting that information as well. The farms data, Mr. Burns, Mr. Husu, where I'm still trying to understand the data and the data gaps for farms specifically related to Clarksburg High School. So there was a specialist that's supposed to talk to us, but they weren't able to come that day. So I think the next meeting, which is next month, which will be at Fox Chapel, that's where we're going to connect with that specialist to go over what percentage goes down, but like what, not the total numbers, or how do we understand the gathering and what's the best practices of gathering farms data to actually get the most accurate data for Clarksburg High School. Any questions about that before I pull the other one? No questions? Okay. The other points here that I want to bring up is there's the NAACP Parents Council meeting that's on March 22nd at 6 p.m. and that is tomorrow. So I'll share that data there. Oh, I saw a chat here. I'm so sorry. Dr. Daryl Howard, MCPS Restorative Justice is amazing. I'm certain that I could. Oh, yes, please. Thank you, Heather. Thanks for joining.
I work at Little Bennett, and he helps the teachers at my school. He's been a phenomenal resource. So if you need an additional person, just let me know. I'll send you his. Okay, sorry.
No, you're great. Thank you.
Sure.
Yay. Yes. So that's awesome. So I look forward to connecting with Dr. Dale Howard. And please jot this on your note. I'll share the link for the NAACP Parents Council meeting Wednesday, March 22nd at 6 p.m. The reason why this is important, that there's so, and again, not from our cluster, from what I understand, but our another cluster president went to one of the NAACP's meetings, and they heard from a parent who shared how their student, again, I'm not sure which grade, but their student was kind of performing above the grade level. But because the other students were not performing at grade level, the student who was performing ahead of the class, their work that they did was ripped up by the teachers in front of them. So there's a lot of concerns our student needs us to support them on. And this is just one example. So please, 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 join us. If you have any concerns, join us so all of our collective voices can speak up and really advocate for our students. The other one is the Girls Power Conference. We recently got information about this. That's May 6th, and that's at 9 a.m. For all of those who are supporting with After Prom, you may not be able to join that. Because, I mean, you're a superwoman and men if you're able to, but that's 9 a.m. the day after prom ends at 4:30 a.m. in the morning. So I saw that and I went, oh, that's so cool. I want to join. But no, that's May 6th at 9 a.m. But for all of those who are unable to support After Prom, or you have other plans already, you saw about this, this is a great event. Please do join it. Let's see here. There is, the MCC PTA Achievement Awards nominations is due by March 24th. That looks like this. So if you can submit a nomination for an achievement award online, I keep forgetting to share this out. Winners will be recognized at the MCC PTA Celebration of Excellence Thursday, March 18th at Strathmore, North Bethesda. You have to contact the chair, Daria Daniel, and nominate a well-deserving individual, business, or community group for one of the following awards. So it could be PTA President of the Year, Principal of the Year, Teacher of the Year, Support Staff of the Year, National PTA Life Achievement Award, Partners for Education Award, Advocacy Award, Family of the Year Award. Could be any of those things. And this is the, where is this? Where are you? Any questions about that while I find this? Oh, here it is. This is the May 6th event. And then this is the MCC, that is the Montgomery County Pre-Conference for middle school and high school girls. I am like doing this separately. I'm so sorry, I did that backwards. And then this one is the NAACP March Parents Council meeting. I'm going to try my best to attend to. Okay. And there's a few other ones here. I'll share these out for this here. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to, again, let us know. And then we will compile them and share it with the rest of our clusters. Any questions from the cluster coordinator there? If no, we're going to move on forward. Next one is After Prom. After Prom. The next meeting is March 26, 2023. We received $1,385 from PayPal. The other one is from Member Hub. So the total we've received is $1,679, and then the grant of $2,000. After Prom budget, it's here, I believe, yes, $9,659.59. And this is what that covers. Well, this is the entertainment. This is not Wink, sorry. This is the district photos. District photo booth. And District Photo is a local Clarksburg vendor. So that's why we have partnered up with them for After Prom. Good Vibrations, again, Mid-Atlantic Adventures, Jason Levine, balloon artist, Pan Balloon March, no. not for this year. So far, we've made a deposit for good vibrations. Oh, and then we have the hypnotist, which sounds like fun. And they are actually donating their services. So yay. The fundraising, again, we've had so far is this. We have potential for the elementary schools supporting, hopefully businesses, parent donations. We just need 250 parents to get 5,000. I'm trying to get State Farm as well. I just talked to them this morning. I'm gonna keep bugging them until they don't want to be bugged no more. Any questions for after prom? Any concerns for after prom? Let me share. Let me see here. Is this here? Let me stop sharing for a second. I'm going to find that page. Any questions or concerns so far? So this is, I'm going to share the after prom results from the survey. I'm going to close that this weekend, this Friday. So right now we have 29 responses. And 55, which changed. Before it was a lot of juniors, then now it's a lot of seniors. 55.2% is seniors, 44.8% is juniors. 69% are, they've said they're likely, very likely to send after prom. 20 is likely, 10% is somewhat likely. Oh, that's prom, sorry. Most likely to be attend after prom. So 69%, they're going to prom, Mr. Russo. 34% is very likely after prom. 48% is somewhat likely, 30% is likely, and then like the little blue there says no. They're not, it's 3.4% said not very likely. Let's see. How important is having an after prom event? There it's split. So 31 very, 34 is somewhat, 24 is important, and then I flip this, and then 10% is not important. Welcome, Alam. And then this is what they would like, that what they liked. They attended after prom is the food and the friends who attended. Location. Location got more than games, Mr. Busu, which is very hilarious. Because a lot of them are like, we don't want to do it at the high school.
That's funny. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Kids. If you're not attended after prom, what are you looking forward to after prom? And they say friends. They're actually excited about the location. And the game's not so much. That's why I find that so funny. If you've attended, what didn't you like about it, but after prom? And oh, they didn't like location if they attended it. Then they also didn't like the game's activities. Okay. Then they least likely like the food or the friends, the food. If you've attended, what was your favorite activity? They really like the DJ, which is good. They like the mechanical bull, giant trach, and balloon artist. Not so much, and joust got only 2, which is why joust is not coming back this year. So for this year, what would they like? They like they're excited about the wrecking ball, giant inflatables, the mechanical bull, and then the wild one obstacle course. So these are actually the 3 ones that we are bringing this year. I like their responses here. One of them is cheaper. What we would like us to change or make it more fun is cheaper, because after prom is free. There is no charge to go to after prom. So we'll share, it's shared, it's free, but I think we'll continue to share, like after prom is free. There's no charge to go to after prom technically from the students. And let's see here, more details about what will be there. Okay, more details, so we'll share that out. Door prizes, you have to hit up more businesses. Mr. Russo, they want to open up larger parts of the school. More fun music. Face painting, make Google form. This is actually going to be in the works. And then telling more about people about after prom. So that's pretty much from the students or the 29 students that have shared about after prom. So if anyone, other students that are not part of the 29 have any complaints, we can just say, you have the 29 students you can turn to and voice your concerns for. I'm just kidding. But this is the after prom. This is the first after prom flyer. It's about the after prom fundraiser. After prom is a big community event. So we hope we get the community support, not just from the school, but all the community surrounding the school, because this again deals with the driving safety, the substance use concerns, and the and ensuring that the kids have a fun time at after prom. There will be 2 officers stationed from MCPD at after prom from the time it opens until the time it ends. They will not let us end it earlier than 3 a.m. So that is why a lot of us are there until 4:30 in the morning. Really fun to be at the school at 4:30 in the morning. And so this is why it's very crucial. Some people have after prom until 5 o'clock in the morning, but no, 3 o'clock is fine for us. Anyone have any questions? These are just pertaining to the budgets for after prom, but we shared that already. Anyone, any other concerns or inputs about after prom? If not, we're gonna go on. So these are the upcoming events that we hopefully can have, or we are looking to have. SAT Day, that's pretty much said. I don't know if the PTSA supports this. I don't recall that last year, Mr. Wusu, but just let us know. This session may be pushed back, again, maybe next year, because there's a lot. There's only 3 more months left of the school year. The food drive is still ongoing. We just need to finalize this. To the doctor, we completed. The substance use assembly is in process. If anyone here wants to help us with this community event, this is a fundraiser for PTSA after prom with the hypnotist. Maybe towards the end of April, just let us know, please. This is a big event, so we would love to have your support. Partner up with us for this. After prom is starts May until May 6th. Teacher Appreciation Week is May 8th until May 12th. If you have any ideas, if you want to give input, please let us know. Cluster Festival is likely to be May 20th. This is partnering up with Clarksburg Yard. And then there's the scholarships, the senior breakfast picnic, and then the end of the year CHS staff luncheon. The mental health seminar, I have to put that in here somewhere. But any questions, and this one here is also April 18th. April 18th after PTSA meeting. Any other inputs here before we end the meeting for today, or we can open it up to question and answering. The next PTSA meeting is April 18th. And the topic is substance use awareness prevention. If you have a better title, please let me know. Okay, we can do a brief question and answering session. If anyone has any concerns or questions you would like to share with us today, you have Mr. Awusu here. You have myself, you have a lot of fellow CHS family members here as well. I'm gonna open up the floor. No questions. Okie dokie. If there's no other questions, just again want to thank everybody here for joining us today. We hope you all have a great and safe and healthy rest of your week. And then we'll see you all again April 18th, 2023, or earlier if you would like to support any of the other events here for the school and for our communities. Thank you so very much. Have a great day. So the meeting is ended at 8:15.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, Janet. Thank you, Heather. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Stephanie, Angela, Trinine, and Mr. Owusu, Mr. Kadir.
Thanks, Nadia.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hope you feel better.
Oh my gosh, me too. Thank you. I'm going to stop recording.